Hi, everyone, and welcome to another week where we come together and have a look at things that are exciting and happening in Singapore. Let's have a look this week at Lau Pa Sat and see what all the hype is about. Okay, thanks very much for joining everyone. So this week we're going to have a look at Lau Pa Sat in particular, and look at some other alternatives as well as what constitutes local food. So if you have a look at this, and actually it's quite a lot that we have to cover today, so I'm hoping I can compress it and speak a bit faster and kind of get things going. But okay, if we have a look here at Lau Pa Sat, I've just gone around that particular hawker center. And I just went around during lunchtime and took a lot of photos, took a lot of videos as well. But I was trying to figure out what's the best way to present this, because showing you kind of what every store sells and how much it costs doesn't really kind of do it. And I'm not really the food critic either. Okay, so when it comes to telling you how nice it is, I will just say it's nice, a bit sweet, a bit salty, that kind of stuff. I know what good food is, and I'm very picky with my food, but describing it over describing it to someone else is kind of a different thing. Okay, so here you see here are some different shops, okay, that are in Lau Pa Sat. Here's another view, right, of more shops that are in there, and even more shops. Okay, but I didn't go through and kind of snapshot every single shop. Okay, so it's just to kind of give you an idea. And if you need the slides later, okay, let me know and then I'll send you the slides. That's no problem. And then you can take the pictures that I've done and zoom in, and then you can actually kind of see in a bit more clarity and detail as to what it looks like and the pricing, etc., etc. Okay. But I did take a couple of samples, okay, of what is more like local food, okay, and just showing you these are the types of things that you get and the prices, okay. So you'll see here, if I just change this pointer, okay, so you'll see here, right, it's item number one, it's got must try, okay, and then you'll see it's got ban mian, yu mian, mi hoon, kueh, okay. So so usually ban mian is the thicker type of noodles, kind of like linguine, okay, if you're having a look at what it looks like and the texture. Okay, and then yu mian is a bit thinner. It's probably more like your normal, regular Chinese noodle type. Okay, Mihun, I'm not too sure what it is. I've had it before, but if you ask me now, I'm not really sure. Okay, and then you've got different bases. Okay, so this is just kind of the normal, regular soup base. Okay, then you've got a tom yum soup base. Okay, so kind of the more spicy type, Thai style. You've got one with a big prawn. Okay, so you see the price with a normal, it's about 5.90, and with a big prawn, then you get, you pay a little bit more for seafood. Okay, ones with a fish fillet. Okay, 6.50, 6.50, $7 for a dumpling, and then you'll see the other prices. Okay, so let's have a look at another one. Okay, so this is more towards Malay type food. Okay, and Malay food again, they've told you which one's a bestseller. So you'll see there looks like there's a chicken in there, a bit of tempeh or veggie, and some yellow rice. Okay, and then you've got so this I think would be the combo. So it's got probably two meats in there, and then you've got all the different types, right? If you just take a whole chicken leg, so this would be the drumstick plus the thigh. Okay. Then with the yellow rice, it's $7.50. Okay. And this is with mutton. This is with fish. It's $6. Kuning is a small fish. Okay. It's probably like as big as your thumb and index. Okay. And then mee siam and mee rebus. Okay. So these are local dishes. Okay. And we'll have a look at those later. Okay. So this is more Malay food. A lot of, in fact, I think most of or nearly all of the Malay food is halal. Okay. So, those people who have certain dietary requirements, you can go and look for those stores. Okay, here's another one. And this is the last one that I'm going to kind of go and deep dive into. Okay, but you'll see the prices here are about the five to $7 range. Okay, so roughly. So you get the roast duck noodles right here, which is roast duck plus your noodles, couple of veggies here for 5.90, 5.50 with dumplings, 5.50 with char siu, right, and a couple of dumplings, right. We call it wonton. And then you've got more meat-based char siu and roast pork. Okay, the three-layered fat pork. Okay, and then the wonton soup and so. So range is about five to $7 roughly. Okay, then they also serve you rice. Okay, so rice together with the meats, and you'll see this one's 5.90, 7.50, 6.50, 8.50 for a combo. So that's two meats together, 5.50 and 5.50. Okay, so you roughly see the prices. It's not too bad actually. Okay, if you ask me. Okay, and then the last slide that I want to have a look at here for Lau Pa Sat, is just to remind you guys, clean up afterwards. Okay, there's a place to go and clean up, but you just need to clean up. Otherwise, if somebody catches you, because there are officers walking around, and if someone catches you not cleaning up, then there'll be a fine. Okay, it's an on-the-spot fine. So just be mindful of that. Okay, now let's move to the next part. Okay, which is usually if you go to Lau Pa Sat at nighttime. Okay, so the video that we showed at the very beginning was in the daytime. Okay, so daytime you definitely see a whole lot of office workers, a whole lot of people. It's crowded, it's hot, it's sweaty. The heat from the cooking of the food is kind of all trapped under one roof. Okay, and it circulates around, and it's just really really hot. If you go at nighttime, it's different. Okay, and I don't know if you saw at the beginning, right, of the video, there was some area where there were people having there's a street, okay, and then I walked past a few satay stalls. Okay, at nighttime, this road here in red is the one that's actually closed off to traffic. Okay, and the really good thing is that in Singapore, this very rarely happens, but for Lau Pa Sat, they actually block it off every night, 7 p.m. Okay, so this is the best thing about it because the vibe, the atmosphere, that really is the place to be if you want eating on the street. Okay, if you're going to KL and Malaysia, right, they have this type of thing quite commonly. Okay, you just ask the driver or saying the driver can tell you, oh, drive you to this particular car park, and you all sit in a car park eating out of trailers at that. But in Singapore, it doesn't happen. Okay, so this is one of the rare places where they put out chairs and tables on the street, close off the street, and all the satay vendors set up their satay around here. Okay, this red line. Okay, Lau Pa Sat is here, right? The circle. Okay, and then you have everyone set up around here. So usually what I would recommend, okay, if you're visiting, if you want a nice night out, something kind of very chill, relaxing, you go do your day activities. After that, you come for an early dinner. So probably about 7-ish, 7:30, 8, right? And then after that, right, there is the Spectra Light and Water Show at, I think it's about 8 and 9. Okay. If you miss the 8 o'clock show, that's fine because you're having dinner. You catch a 9 o'clock show. And then between here, Lau Pa Sat Satay area, you can probably start walking about 8:15 or so, and you cross the road here and you walk all the way up. Okay, cross the road again, then walk around here and up here, okay, to this particular area, which is the Light and Water Show. This is one of the recommended itinerary setups, okay, because you mix in your nice local food, nice vibes, everyone's in a good, happy mood. Then after that, you go and walk up towards here. It's not too far. Regular, normal pace, maybe 15, 20 minutes, okay, the normal pace. If you are a bit slower, maybe half an hour, okay, or less than that, okay. Or if you really want, I've noticed over here there are taxis, okay, so you just hop in a local taxi. It's all metered fare, so they can't kind of overcharge you, right, unless they decide to go all the way around. But get a receipt, okay, always step into a taxi and say, can I have a receipt at the end? Then they kind of get it that they can't take you all the way around because they'll have to be accountable with the receipt. Okay. So you just go up here round the corner and they'll drop you off around here. Okay. Which is the MBS side. Okay. And then you just walk it from here to here. Okay. You can actually walk it, but if walking is difficult, then, catch a taxi. There's plenty of taxis around here. Okay. All right. So that's a good tip. Okay. If you guys want to go and see stuff afterwards. Now, I'm going to show you, this is a shop house. Okay. Last week we talked about shop houses. Okay. And hawker centers and restaurants and food courts and what the difference is between all of them. But I'll just show you here. Here's a shop house, which is just down the road. Like literally, if you go back, okay, the shop house is around here. Okay, so you just cross the road and go down. But the thing is, this particular shop house, okay, is only open in the daytime. Okay, so it is really all for office workers. Okay, so if you want to eat at a shop house, see kind of where all the office people go and have their meals and all this, this is the place. This particular shop, okay, the queue can go all the way like down here, round the corner, and it goes all the way back. So it can be a queue of, I reckon, maybe not, 50 meters at least. 50 meters, okay? But they move fairly quickly, like every few seconds somebody comes out. Okay, so it does move quickly. It's worth a try. If you want to see what the locals eat and all that kind of stuff, you can go over here as well and have a look. I'm just going to show you a bit because last week I had lunch from this particular place, and you will see here. These are the photos, and I've gone through and zoomed in and labeled each one. Okay, because if you're seeing this for the first time, it'll be like, what is all this? Okay, but the whole concept here is that you pick and choose your food, and then they will calculate and give you a price. Okay, that's how it works. Now the pricing is a bit. I don't. It's very difficult to calculate. Okay, so each shop house that you go to, right? And this is called, by the way, it's called economy rice or it's called chai fan. Okay, I'm probably using the tones wrong, but so the idea is it's veggies, rice, and pick your dishes. Okay, that's the whole concept. So what you do is you go in and then you just point and you say, I want this, I want this, I want this. Okay, but it's not as easy. The price varies quite a bit, and each shop house who sells economy rice has their own pricing scheme. And I will tell you, I've lived in, Singapore for like over 20 years. I'm still confused with how they come up with the prices. Okay. But, all I can say is the food tastes great and the price is reasonable. So I don't dispute, like, how did you calculate the price? Okay. But there's apparently formulas and all that. Okay. So here you'll see, okay, just pointing it out. Okay. Here you'll see there's, laser pointer. Okay, here is the curry sauce, here and here. Okay, again, every shop is different, and all the dishes vary in each shop. Okay, it's not every shop which has the same types of food. Okay, Shara, I'll get back to your question later on. Okay. Okay, so then you've got here is the chicken with the chili. Okay, the curry chicken here. You've got soy egg. So this is in soy sauce, the egg, together with the soft tofu. This the omelette with pork mince, which is the same as this. So it seems to be quite popular, done twice. The soft tofu here. I couldn't figure out what this was from the pictures. But yeah, okay. Chinese veggies, you get fried pork pieces here. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the presentation of it is different. Okay, from a pork chop. Okay, and you will see here, for example, I've got soy chicken here. Okay, but this is in red, and all these other ones are in black. Okay, why? Because the ones in red have premium pricing. Okay, so they will charge you, like, say, for this one piece of chicken, like a drumstick and a thigh. You would probably, again, I'm not an expert on pricing, but you probably get charged like $2.50 or $3 for that one piece. Okay. Likewise, the fried pork. Okay. So these are fried pork pieces. Okay. So they're various bits of pork, which are deep fried and all that stuff. Now, if I look at the next one, you will see here is the pork chop. Okay, so the fried pork pieces is here. This is the actual pork chop. Okay, so it's a slab. Okay, and the price of a pork chop, they're both pork, they're both fried, but the difference is one's in a slab and one's in pieces. Okay, so this one is probably they charge you per piece. Okay, so if you are if and this is why I said the way they calculate is a bit different. But if you actually go and your friend buys one serving of this and you buy one serving of this, the price at the end will be different and yours will be like, hey, how come mine's $2 more expensive? Right? And a lot of this confusion happens, which is why I don't try and calculate it anymore. I just go with it. Okay. So as pork chop, okay, pomfret because it's fish. Okay. So fish again is premium pricing. Steamed egg is always quite popular. Cauliflower, fried chicken pieces here, stir-fried cabbage, which is this. I couldn't tell what this one was. Kailan, which is veggies, right? Pork knuckle here, I think that would be premium pricing. The three-layered pork, again, pieces here, that would be premium as well. The bean curd skin, Chinese mushrooms, melon here, and eggplant. Okay? On the right, that I didn't capture in the picture, but on the right, they also have chicken chop. Okay, and that one is always a sellout at this particular shop. So what I did is I purchased, okay, and this is what I purchased. I had half rice, okay, so they normally give you like a whole bowl of rice. But for me, I just said, I'm trying to cut down on my rice. So I said half the rice. They gave me half. They also put in veggie here, which is the green one. They had bean curd skin, which is here. They had the pork chop, which is underneath. It's quite a big one, right? So you see it runs from top to bottom, okay, underneath. And there's also the chicken chop, which is this, also another big one, right? It's a fried chicken chop, which is very popular at this particular shop. Okay, so all together, it cost me $7.80. And again, if you remember last week's video, if you order takeaway, okay, then you just you have to pay a bit extra. So it's probably like $7.50 if you eat in, okay, or $7.80 if you order takeaway, and then you get the chopsticks, the spoon, and takeaway container and a plastic bag. Okay, so that's generally how it works. Now, my biggest tip to you, okay, is okay for me, because I grew up in Australia, so everything is in sentences. Okay, you would say, "Hello, could I have this?" Or start conversations, or this type of thing, to or what is this, or what is this. And generally, especially during peak hours like lunchtime, when there's a long queue of 50 people, these guys get a bit impatient. Not just these guys, I think most shop owners, they tend to get a bit more impatient, which is why I'm showing you all these pictures, so that you're kind of a bit more familiar with, oh, okay, this is pork, this is chicken, this is veggie, and you kind of know. So when you go there, you don't want to talk so much. You just say, it's very simple. Eating here, so and you don't even need to speak Chinese. You just point down and you just say eating here, okay, and then you say, this one, this one, this one, this. It's literally pointing, okay, and then the guy will look at you and he says this one, and then you say yes, okay, and then you point another one, you say this one, yes, and that's it, and then that's it, and then you just kind of go, that's it, finish or whatever, and then they will shift you to the end, and then at the end someone will calculate. Again, don't know how they calculate, and it comes up with a price, and you just pay and go. It's a not much conversation transaction, okay? But this is generally how these economy rice stores go. It's the same like if you go and order noodles from the shop, okay? So one of the stores at Lau Pa Sat or whatever, you don't need to talk so much. You just say number one. That's it, right? So whatever's showing as number one on the board, you just say number one, having here, or number one, take away, right? Take away is the word that they use. Okay. All right. So that's it. Now, what I wanted to do next, okay, is have a look at these. Okay. So this is a bit different. Okay. Because somebody else, okay. So for those of you who've followed me for quite a while, you know that if somebody else has done the homework, I'm happy with that. Okay. I don't need to copy what somebody else has done. I will just point you and say, somebody else has done the homework. This guy has done the homework like 11 years ago. Okay. SethLouis.com. Okay. So this particular guy, okay, initially set up a food blogging page. Okay. And then he's gone through and he's become really big now. Okay, so this was kind of the early days, but now he's really big. And what he did back then is he put together a list of different types of food. So I'm just going to run through it. It's the top 30. If you're saying Singapore types of food, okay, I went through. He's covered all of it. There's more, right? Because Singapore, if you have a look at it, it's more kind of a mix from different cultures, okay? And that's what makes Singapore Singapore, okay? So, bak kut teh, okay? Bak kut teh is primarily pork, okay? It's pork with pork soup, and what they do is they put pepper, okay? There's a version which is, it's not pepper, it's herbal soup, okay? Then they have veggies, they have noodles and other stuff as well, okay? So that's bak kut teh. Okay, so I'm going to run you through all the, if you want to read his stuff, right, I've given you the link so you can go and have a look at the link later. Okay, next one is nasi lemak, okay, of Malay heritage, okay. So nasi lemak, they usually have chicken or fish, no pork because it's halal, okay, and then fried like the small ikan bilis, which is the small fried fish. They give you chili, cucumber, and I think that's egg. Okay, and then together with rice. And the rice is supposed to be fragrant rice together with coconut. Okay, and then they'll give you an egg as well. Okay, so that's nasi lemak. Wonton mee, I think a lot of people are kind of familiar with wonton mee, right? No matter which part of the world you come from. Okay, so wonton mee, noodles, veg, and barbecue pork, mostly. Okay, sometimes they'll give you soup with dumplings in it. Okay. The other thing to note is wonton mee, you can ask for dry or soup. Okay. So if you're ordering noodles, oftentimes they will ask you, you want dry or soup? Okay. And they'll ask you, you want chili. Okay. So this is dry. Why is it called dry? Because the soup is separated from the noodles. Okay. So the noodles are dry noodles. Okay. And then if you have soup inside, like some places you have soup inside the noodles, okay, that's wet. Okay. So if the vendor asks you, hey, you want dry or wet, you say dry if you want it like this, wet if you want the soup inside. Okay. And they also use green chili. Okay. So if you want red chili, it'll be stuff like this. Okay. All right. Next one, fried carrot cake. Also another popular choice. Okay. There is the white fried carrot cake, and there is the black. Okay. This one just has soy sauce in it. Okay, dark soy sauce, and this one doesn't. Okay, but carrot is not kind of the orange carrot that grows in the ground. It's actually turnip. Okay, a white turnip, and they call it carrot cake. Okay, so don't look for a cake as in a round cake made out of carrot. No. Okay. So they usually fry that with egg. Okay. Next one is nasi biryani. Okay. So nasi biryani is it's Indian. Okay. So they use basmati rice, and then it'll either be with chicken or mutton, right, and a bit of chopped up cucumber and stuff. Okay. Dim sum, I think a lot of people know that as well, right? The dim sum in hawker centers is not all particularly great. I think if you wanted to go for dim sum, it's better to go to a restaurant. Okay. One of the oldest star restaurants in Singapore is called Red Star. Okay. Again, not sponsored. Okay. But Red Star, yeah, you can go and check that out. It's around the Chinatown area. Okay. Kaya toast and soft-boiled eggs. These one, okay, there's a lot of places that do this, and it's very popular for breakfast. Okay, so locals would usually go get their kaya toast, or they'll get noodles, or they'll get peanut butter with toast, right? They will get an egg, which is usually a runny egg. Okay, I don't like runny eggs at all. It just grosses me out. But it's very common. It's a runny egg. Okay. Now, if you want a hard boiled egg, get it hard boiled. They don't do scrambled. Um, yeah, it's just runny egg or full boiled egg. Okay. And then you get the kaya toast or peanut butter toast. And this is a coffee. Okay. So a guide to a coffees, right? It's a copy. Okay. You go and get that from last week's slides. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Crab. Okay. This one, I think you can probably get this in Lau Pa Sat as well from one or two stalls. Okay. Yeah. Again, most people go to the specialist food places like East Coast, right? East Coast. And the most famous place is called Jumbo. There's another one called No Signboard. Okay. And there's another one called Red House, I think it is. Okay, so there's a few different brands. They're all the big brands for chili crab and all this type of stuff. Okay, again, not sponsored. Nothing here is sponsored in my stuff. Okay, all right. Laksa, right? Laksa. This one doesn't look so great, but usually laksas are a bit more rich. Sometimes they're a bit thicker with gravy. Okay, so it's coconut based. It has very nice flavors. These are laksa leaves in there. Usually they put seafood inside with fish cakes. Um, what else? Prawn, right? That type of thing. It's noodles as well, noodle based. This here is an otak. Okay, it's fish. Okay, so fish, a bit spicy type of fish, which has been barbecued, which is also quite nice. Curry fish head. Okay, you can get this at the Chinese store, Chinese certain stalls. Malays do it. Indians do theirs as well. So everyone kind of does their own version a bit differently. Okay. I know certain cultures, people don't like seeing the eyes of the fish or the face of the fish. So scroll past that. Okay, bak chor mee, right? So this is also a very local dish. It's basically noodles, right? Noodle based. It's got minced meat. It's got a few wontons. They put liver as well, and it's got a bit of vinegar in there as well. Okay, it's a very, local traditional dish. Okay. This is oyster omelet. Okay. So just like you had the fried carrot cake, it's the same stall, right? They will usually sell both. So they'll sell the oyster omelet. Also, you can it's basically oysters, okay, which are fried together with egg, okay, and so you get the oyster omelet. This one and the carrot cakes are usually very popular at nighttime. Okay, so people who go for supper, go with their friends, like 11 o'clock at night, they will just go and get a carrot cake and everyone share and just kind of take a little bit. Okay. Hokkien mee, it's a mix of different noodles, okay, together, with some prawn, a bit of seafood, and bean sprouts. Okay, that's another popular dish. Satay, okay. Satay is, you saw there was Satay Street, right, which I took a short video of, and it's near Lau Pa Sat. But there are other places that you can get satay as well. Couple of the hawker centers, one of the big ones is Chom Chom, right, which is more in the residential area. Okay, you can go and check that out. You also have the barbecue stingray. Okay, this one is at Lau Pa Sat as well. Okay, in fact, my first taste of barbecue stingray with my wife was we moved over to Singapore and then we went to Lau Pa Sat and we had barbecue stingray from there. And I had it quite a few times. It was really it's something very different and unique. You don't get it much in Western countries. So for me, it was the first time, and with chili, that was my introduction to chili. Okay. Uh, Tau Huay. So, okay, Tau Huay is it's bean curd, kind of like a jelly. It's like tofu, okay, but without the it's it's with sweet syrup. Okay, so it's tofu with sweet syrup in a way, right? So it's a good dessert, right? A lot of people take that as dessert. Very popular as well. Okay, ice kacang. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about this. It's shaved ice. Okay, so they have this block of ice. They have a cutter, and then they spin it around on the machine, and then just shave off the ice out of the block. Okay, so that's a very popular one as well. You'll see there are different colors, and the different colors are different flavors that are used. They also put corn in there as well, and just it's all a bunch mix of different flavors. Okay, so a lot of people have this when it's really hot, like now it's really really hot. So yeah, a lot of people usually take this. Okay, and then you've got chikway. Okay, chikway is it's I don't know how it's kind of like a bit of a carrot cake-ish type base, okay, and then they put veggies at the top. Okay, very common for locals. Not too sure if tourists would be so interested in that. Okay, this one you like it or you hate it. Durian. Okay, if you want to know more about durian, you can PM me privately because I am very into durian. Okay. I used to be a hater, an absolute hater for like over 20 years, and then one day I converted. Okay, if you want to hear my conversion story, we can talk about it later. Okay, mee siam, this is in the Malay store. Okay, so it's vermicelli noodles. Okay, and then it's got a bit of a sour type of sauce. Okay, that goes with it. You got tofu, egg, and chili, and a bit of lemon and lime as well. Okay, and then mie rebus, again from the Malay store. These are different types of noodles, so it's thicker egg noodle type. Okay, again similar ingredients, but it's a gravy instead of a liquidy type sauce like the misa, and it's not sour. Okay, this one's not sour. It's just a gravy. Okay, roti prata, another nighttime snack. So a lot of people, if they meet up with their friends, they will go get a roti prata, right? Everyone sit around, get a plate each. It's just flour, right? But when you deep fry it, okay, and you see the way the guy does a roti prata, he gets a lot of he gets the flour, presses it down, spreads it out, and then flips it to stretch it out. It's kind of like pizza dough in a way, but stretch it out, deep fry it, And then after deep frying it, it comes out really crispy, nice. And then you dip it in the curry sauce and then you just eat and it's just fantastic. Can't say that about the cholesterol though. But anyway, so you can have different versions, right? One is the plain, another one with onion, another one with egg. There's all different types of prata. There's even a tissue prata, okay, which is like as thin as a tissue. Okay, that's why they call it tissue prata. All different types of things here. Okay, so that's your nighttime snacks. This is a very local dish, right? All the health conscious people will eat this. Okay, it's again, it's kind of the flour based no, sorry, it's not flour. I think it's rice based noodle. Okay, and then fried fish. Okay, and veggie and a bit of soup. Okay, so if you wanted to lose weight, a lot of these people eat fried fish soup. Okay, fills you up, probably lasts you a couple hours. Okay, fried fish bihun. Then you've got rojak. Okay, so rojak is vegetables and fruits. Okay, but with some sauce. Okay, and I don't like having sauce on my veggies and fruits. Okay, so I will just eat it plain. But again, a local thing, and the sauces kind of have strong flavors to it. There's one even a prawn paste sauce. Okay, so you can just add that and then add nuts on top and stuff like that. Okay, that's rojak. Okay, there's an Indian rojak and a Chinese rojak. I think this one is the Chinese one. Okay, the Indian one is usually a bit orange in color. Okay, chicken rice. Everyone knows chicken rice. So sometimes it depends which store you go to. Some chicken rice stores serve you the white chicken, which is boiled, steamed chicken, and then other places sell you the roast chicken. Okay. But at other stores, they may only have the steamed chicken. They may not have the roast. Okay. So it really depends. Hainanese chicken rice. The rice itself is cooked specially. Okay. So you can't just use normal plain white rice. It won't taste the same. But the guys who do it really well, you put the chicken stock inside the rice, or you put your special formula, and then it comes out so fragrant and so nice, and it's just unbelievable. Okay. Duck rice you can buy from the chicken rice store usually as well. Char kway teow, this is flattened noodles. Okay, flattened noodles, right? These char kway teow is cooked with cockles. They cook it with shreds of chicken or beef. They cook it with what do you call bean sprouts as well. It's basically fried in the wok. Okay, if you do it right, it's got a particular flavor called wok hei, which if you smell it, you'll just be like, wow. Okay, but not everywhere does it. So again, you kind of got to pick and choose your places. Okay, curry puffs. Curry puffs. There's a chain called Old Chunky, which is quite a common chain around. And so when you're walking around, you'll see, oh, there's a yellow signage place called Old Chunky. Okay, so they sell curry puffs. Fish head, steamboat. So steamboat in general, probably not for this time of the year. If you want to have steamboat, you can do it. Probably December, January, February, around there, when it's a lot cooler. Otherwise, you'll be just perspiring as you eat, right? Because it's soup based, it's hot soup based, so yeah, it's quite something. And then popya. Popya is the no meat version of spring roll, okay? And it's not fried, okay? So the base here again is that turnip, okay? The carrot cake. Okay, so it'll be the turnip and then chopped up all in small pieces, and then after that rolling it together with other things inside as well, and then people eat that for dinner or for snacks and stuff. Okay, that's about it. Told you there was a lot. Okay, all right, so let me just fast forward. Where are we up to? Okay, so I'm going to finish off with my recommendations of where you got to go to get nice food. Okay, it's my recommendations, and as I said before, everything in this presentation is not sponsored at all. Okay, it's just my recommendation where me and my family go to, right? To get affordable food and of fairly high standard. Okay, I would say because I'm quite fussy. Okay, so this one I've mentioned before, right? Mr. Chicken Rice. Okay, you can get here, which is a tofu set, $9.50. You get the Hainanese chicken, you get the rice, the tofu, the soup, okay? And then if you don't want the tofu, okay, you strike that out, then it's the chicken rice for 6.50. Okay. We usually also get the oyster sauce veggie and bean sprouts because in general, okay, if you like your veggies, in general, Singapore doesn't give you so much vegetables. Okay, so you need to order separate. Okay, so sometimes what we do is if we're eating at the hawker center and go to different stalls to get our food, in general, there's not much veggies. So we'll also go to the economy rice stall. And instead of picking like, 5 dishes, we just say, I only want your veggies. Okay. And they'll say, oh, okay. Just one plate of veggies. I say, yeah. Okay. They'll say it's $2. So I'm like, okay, I'll just pay for it. Okay, so we usually have to order veggies separately because in general in Singapore the food doesn't have so much veggie. Okay, so this is my recommendation for chicken rice. Okay, it's at Downtown East. Next one for nasi lemak. This is really nice as well. Okay, it's called the White Tiffin. Today I found out they've actually got an outlet in Faber, near Faber Hotel. Okay, which is nearby to Vivo City. Okay, so you might want to check that out if you're around there. Okay, it's called the White Tiffin. They have a laksa, okay, with baby abalone, prawn and egg for 10.80. This on the left is the nasi lemak with curry chicken. Okay, so they cook the nasi lemak, okay, this fragrant rice together with blue pea. Okay, PEA, blue pea, which is a flour. Okay, and then all of these different things together with the curry. This one is the fried chicken, but the one that we usually get is the curry chicken. Okay, which and then here you have the local trio. Okay, and the local trio is down here. You get a flavor of I think it's mee siam, nasi lemak, and laksa as well. Okay, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so yeah, the prices are quite okay for the quality. The quantity is quite big. You could probably, if you just want to taste and see what it's like, you could probably order one and just share. Okay, just to have a taste. Okay, for wonton mee, I would go to Eng's. Okay, so Eng's, the noodles themselves are a bit special. Okay, it's hard to copy these particular types of noodles. But you can go there. There's a small bowl for 5.50 and a big bowl for 6.50, right? Again, among the locals, this is quite a famous stall. Noodle texture is different. It's not your standard ones that you get at the hawker center, so it is quite nice. Okay, and then the last one that I have on the presentation is the banh mi. Okay, so banh mi, again, at the beginning, if you remember, I talked to you about the flatter noodles, which are a bit like fettuccine, maybe, or linguine, right? So this place has banh mi as well. Okay, it's called Ng Quan Chili Banh Mi. Okay, there are a few outlets around Singapore. Uh, I was just introduced to this a few weeks ago by my son, right? Because there's one near the university, and he took us over here, and I was just like, I, I'm not a fan of banh mi. Okay, seriously, not a fan. But when I ate this, I was just like, wow, this is different. It's different. The texture is different. The taste is different. It's just wow. So that's why I've got it here as another recommended place. Okay, so that's about it for today. Okay, I know it's been a long presentation. As I said earlier, everything here, right, is not sponsored at all. Okay, so none of these outlets know that I'm doing this video. The ones that I've recommended don't know, right, as well. It's just purely the places that I go to, right, with my family. Uh, I don't usually like paying excessive prices. Okay, I'll pay for good value, and to me, these places are good value. Okay, so back to the initial question, right? Is Lau Pa Sat overhyped? Well, here's my view. Okay, Lau Pa Sat is hot. It is really, really hot in the daytime. Okay. If you remember at the end of the video, there were these fans on the ceiling, like these massive fans. Okay. If you go to La Pasa in the daytime, sit under the fans. Okay. You got to get that air circulation. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting there eating your food and dripping. Okay. It is just too hot in there. There's just too much heat that comes up from the kitchens, okay, and it just gets trapped within the room, okay. So number one con is it's hot. The second thing I would say, quality wise, from a local perspective, it's not great, okay. It's okay, it's passable. A lot of the food is just okay, right? Usually, if you see a longer queue, it's there's a couple of reasons. Number one is it's cheap, or second reason is it's new. Okay, so stalls which have just opened, like the first 2 weeks, first 3 weeks, they tend to have really long queues. Okay, because locals tend to want to try something new. Okay, that's usually what happens. Okay, in terms of value, Lau Pa Sat is okay, right? For the quality that you're getting, it's pretty average. The price that you're paying, you saw, right? It's between $5, $7. It's okay. Is it overpriced? No, it's not overpriced. It's about there, right? So even if you go into the neighborhood areas, it's about that price. Okay. Now, the best things about La Pasa, okay, are the variety. Okay. You definitely get a whole lot of variety. Okay. Not only local food, but international food as well. So that's why I don't know if you saw, but there are lots of Indian stalls. Okay. Lots. Again, because of the demographic and a lot of offices around, we get a lot of Indian stores. There are a few Filipino stores as well. There is Western food stall, not great, okay, but there is a Western food stall as well. You even had a Turkish cuisine stall, right? So you do get international food as well, right? So there's a huge variety. In terms of variety, yes, La Pasat is the place. In terms of Satay Street, okay, other food courts and all that stuff, they usually don't have satay done for you, right? At nighttime, there's probably only one Indonesian stall in a food court that does the satay, right? But here you've got a variety of maybe 10 different satay vendors, right? All playing for your business, right? Along Satay Street. It's open at nighttime after 7 p.m., right? And the vibe that you get is really, really nice. Okay. The actual satay, I've read reviews. It's a bit average, right? And I think for locals, we don't really go there for satay. There are other places to go for satay. But in terms of the vibe and the sitting on the street at nighttime, especially when there's a bit of a breeze, and you can have your stingray as well. You can also have the smoke from the satay all blowing in your face, and at the end, your clothes will just smell of smoke, right? Like barbecue smoke smell, right? But the vibe is really good, and it's just very chill. People are happy, so and like I said, if you combine that with an earlier type of dinner, okay, or maybe you want to do it the other way. You can do an earlier type of dinner, have the satay, then go see the Spectra Light and Water show. Okay, or you go and see that Spectra Light and Water show at 8 o'clock, and then after that, head down to Lau Pa Sat. Right, that can work as well. But that's how I would usually advise people who are looking at their itineraries and stuff like that. Okay, so that's it for me. Okay, another long episode. I'm so sorry, but there is so much, right? And I just wanted to share all of the important things with you so that you know how to order, that you don't get in trouble, that you're not flustered, and it makes it easy for your next trip. Okay, that's the whole purpose of these videos. So I hope you really enjoyed it and wish you all the best. Happy planning. Bye.